The voice of WA Flip here on Interfed Radio. Welcome to Living Nightmare After Hours. With me in studio, Commissioner Brandon Madden. Brandon, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Oh man, up early, ready to do this, man. Oh.
It was an exciting cycle. We had our pay-per-view, and lots of stuff happened.
Now, Brandon, let's clear the air here because again, we say this a lot, and people are listening, who find this show who aren't in the league are probably saying, I go, wow, these guys can really blow, steam up their butts, man. They really pump themselves up. But the reality is, the IWA is humongous. Even today, we ran across another league that's booming out there. And like I said, there's plenty places to play. Why the LNL? Why choose the LNL? And I think it's simple. I mean, if you are into angle-based play, and again, not everybody in this game plays it for angles, plays it for the stories. But if you're in a league and you're thinking in the back of your head, wow, I need to get somewhere where they actually care about what I write, or they're actually going to promote what I'm writing, then the LNL is definitely one of the places to come to. I mean, in my opinion, probably, by far, the bronze is the best of the best when it comes to angle-based play. Now,
absolutely,
people are going to argue one way, argue another. Again, this the current story arc that we got going on, and this is important because there is a story going on behind the scenes. Now, I'm gonna break a couple fourth wall. Shout out to our managers here, whose monsters allow us to do this. A few cycles ago, we were introduced to the Balin character, who, through some devious acts and kind of trickery, found his way in control of the Living Nightmare League, and poor Commissioner Pratt ended up getting suckered. And hey, I'm just stating stating the facts, stating the facts. He got the raw end of the deal there. Let's just say it like that.
I don't know about that. He kind of let the thought of unlimited power go to his head. And
hey, you know what? You think you're getting more, and all of a sudden you get nothing. That's pretty raw end of the deal. But and here we have that story arc kind of like overcasting and coming over everybody. Everyone's kind of getting used to the new honcho, the new person in charge, and one of our veterans decides to just hit a grand slam out of the park, bro. Shout out to Sinister Bagul, who finally cashed in his head in the box at probably one of the most unexpected moments. And here we are ending a year and starting with this big of a story arc. And Brandon, I mean, I'm sorry, they don't get much better than that. I mean, that story and that the way he twisted that start of Balin's reign here is just amazing. I mean, it took us. I think it shocked the shit out of me. I mean, how did you take it? How did you take it?
Yeah, it's funny when you have something like that, where you're gonna have to cash it in at some point, and you knew he was gonna have, you get like the 4-point bonus and everything like that. So you hold off long enough, and you can't possibly live up to the hype, right? Because I mean, what are you gonna do? You could save it for a certain pay-per-view or a certain event or something, but like you said, that was absolutely genius on his part. And there couldn't have been a better time, and there couldn't have been a better way to cash it in the way he did.
Yeah. Now for those that haven't been following along the last couple of cycles, there was unfortunate demise of our legendary fighters here. The old or the former Sith Lords, met their demise and unfortunately vacated that title, which gave Sinister the opportunity to, like Catfish Rob, to cheat his way into the title by not having to face anybody. And shout out to Sinister, because that right there was genius in the back of my head. I'm like, wow, he's gonna get an easy title, and it upset Catfish Rob. Catfish, even awarded him, the biggest slime bag for the year of 2019 for that move. So
Well, you know what? Work smarter, not harder, right?
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, no, and at the same time, I mean, this is an angle-based league, and again, if you're looking for somewhere to run an angle and cash in, and just run with what you got, this is definitely the place. And
Yeah,
that being
like you mentioned at the beginning, we do appreciate the trash talk here. That's the number one thing. We appreciate everybody that sends in trash talk, everybody that supports the league, and I think that's the thing why the LNL is so different. Is we have all these IWA leagues that it's all wrestling, right? That's why most of us are here. But having something different in some of these leagues that changes it up is what kind of makes it cool, just the supernatural aspect and stuff like that. So I think that's like the biggest selling point to me on coming to like the LNL and wanting to do things with this league is just it's something different. I could go to 100 other leagues and do just normal wrestling, which I do. I'm in other leagues, but having something different to kind of that's just out there is
I
cool.
think back to my first couple of trash talks, and trying to get my feet wet. And I'll say it, shout out to the iWar cast and crew out there. And I remember listening to some of the shows, and I remember hearing I forget if it was Alex or Matt, someone saying about a lightsaber, and somebody went in and started chopping people up with a lightsaber. And this is in, quote unquote, a regular, themed league, and you can't get away with that kind of stuff in some. And now that I've stepped back, I see why. It's like, these guys here are trying to run a regular themed, league, and I get it
Right.
now. Back in the days, I was like, why are you guys so hard bent on that? But now I get it. I mean, obviously, with time you grow in this game and you realize that there's a place for it, and you know, this is
Yeah,
the
you
place.
you realize that you can't have ducks running around driving people out of the leagues. You know what I mean?
Hey, 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 we live and we learn. But, shout out to the managers here in the LNL who have continued to grow. And I think we counted, there's, I think, 12 people here that we know of. Again,
I think so.
again, that's our audience. It's our small, we can count them with our hands and our feet. This is who we're pushing for, and we enjoy it. I definitely any little twist and turn that happens, we enjoy. And I think uh, I think that's what keeps us here, Brandon. I mean, I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning doing some IWA, and I wouldn't have it any other
Absolutely.
way. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nah, we have our nice little intimate setting, and while at the same time, it would be nice to have some more guys come in at the same time. I'm gonna stick loyal to my guys that are here supporting it.
Oh yeah, no, shout out to the
And we
cast.
got a lot planned for the year, so
Now,
lots of
let's
lots of
see.
cool stuff coming.
Let's see here. Now, I guess we should do these champions, because I can get rambling and I'm gonna forget about my champs. And let's see here. This is January.
January, yep.
Man, first of the year.
Cycle 65.
Now, before we get any further, are we doing results? We're doing the results for the pay-per-view. Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, here we go. Let's go with Living Nightmare January 2020. Nightmare champion Oh, nice. Jonathan Five, that traitor.
Yes.
Uh, Paranormal champion, the Swamp Monster. Amityville champion, Quinn Malati. Crystal Lake champion from the Battle Royal, Otis Cruiser. Elm Street champion, Dr. Frankenstein. Back at it again. Black Lagoon champion, Kayaku Yamamura. Camp Arwak champion, Rawhead Rex. Transylvania champion, legendary Foxwoman Santana. Haunted Hill champion, Wolfman Joe. Sleepy Hollow champion, Catfish Rob himself. Salem's Lot champion, Blade the Vampire Hunter. And the Crypt champion, also from the Battle Royal, Patient X. Apocalypse Tag Team Champions, Countess Jade and Queen Malati. Doomsday TV Champion, Dr. Frankenstein. Ooh, and the Demonic Queen, Kayoko Yamamura. Nice. That's one I wasn't expecting.
Kind of out there
Slaughter.
tag team.
Yeah, no, definitely not gonna. Never expecting that one. Slaughterhouse, six-man champions. The Huntress Vestra, Countess Jade, and Queen Malati. And here's another odd couple. Nightmare TV six-man champions, Frankenstein, the Mnemonic Queen, and Barnabas Slade. Nice. Let's see here. Now, we said we were going to talk about it, Brendan. I guess now would probably be the best time to kind of go over these commissioner titles and briefly explain how they're contested.
Absolutely.
Just want to make sure all the managers here kind of are on the same page. And I think we've said this before. The commissioner titles are pretty much, they're intended to be used for the trash talk. I've said it in the past on this show before. I think I enjoy more than anyone here the way Jason and Michael's manager incorporate their titles within their trash talk. They, anytime they've had a title, they've done a great job of incorporating it. I wish I could get on that level, and I'm going to try, but I never have a title. But but I just the way use what you got. I mean these
Right.
titles and making them relevant within the trash talk, making them relevant within the story arc. I think Sinister did an amazing job of doing that with the Underworld title and with his cash in of his head in the box. And I think it makes for a healthier league. It makes it more interesting for that title. But at the same time, there has to be a way of getting these titles where it's I think the word that Seth or Commissioner Anderson likes to use is where it's transparent. There has to be
Right.
that transparency. So now I'm going to start with I think the toughest one, because this is the one that we're still kind of trying to figure out how to find a proper challenger. But our Terror Tag Team Champions, and probably
I'm still working on a way.
yeah.
For
I
that.
mean, these guys have dominated for a few years now. I mean, Jason and Michael, have taken competition and ran with it. I mean, I honestly thought they were gonna become the first Bronze Age conquerors. I
Right.
really did. Yeah. So it was nice to see somebody else edge them out, but I'm curious as to when they lose the terror tag.
Yeah. They can always get another shot at or get a shot at the Bronze Age Conquerors the next time that title rolls through the LNL.
Yeah. Now, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that one.
Right.
So the terror tag is still undecided. We're still, kind of
Yep,
working
still
out.
undecided. Right now, I had a match at the pay per view where Rawhead Rex and Jacob Goodnight fought the Patients, Y and Z. in a number one contender match for the tag titles. Rawhead Rex and Jacob Goodnight won that match, so they will be getting a future title shot. So that's kind of how I'm just doing that right now. Obviously, maybe by the time we do the next one, I'll have a system in place for the tag titles.
Nice. Now, they're defended every pay-per-view. Is that safe to say?
Every pay-per-view, and they actually defended them on one of the television shows too, which is the every cycle TV show of ours.
Yes. Now, is it safe to say that it will be announced when they're being defended, so at least the manager knows?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not gonna. It's not. You're not gonna sneak. I know Balin's an asshole, but we're not gonna like sneak up a match where like, oh, you're defending against every tag team this cycle.
I mean, we might have to do that to get the titles off them. You know what I mean? So it's just, I'm not gonna rule out any possibilities.
Oh, that Balin, golly. Now, our Colossal Champion. Now, this is pretty much our open-ended title. Like, this is one where if you're one of those guys that says you never have a shot at a title, or, oh, Commissioner Balin's just, he's only looking after Bigfoot and Squeaky because that's their buddies. And,
absolutely.
But no, this is that one title where as long as you're active and trash talking and involved in our angles and involved in kind of our overarching story, you can find this match yourself.
Right. So
mission.
No, all you got to do is that cycle that you fight the Colossal Champion. You just have to be obviously active, and you have to send in a trash talk. You don't have to trash talk that you're fighting the Colossal Champion.
Aha. Okay. Perfect. So
you could just be like, you could keep your Morbius protecting Wolfman Joe trash talk, and then have Morbius fight the Colossal Champion, and he wins. He's Colossal Champion. And that was like the one thing. The winner of the Colossal title gets 5 free matches. So that's like 5 free matches. I mean, 5 free matches, hey, it's 5 free matches. But surprisingly, only one person fought the Colossal Champion this cycle. So I was kind of surprised. So maybe I'll make a bigger deal about it in my report, just saying, hey, everybody, this is the champion. This is his number. You may want to go after him.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's 5 matches. I mean, yeah, there's some of us that only send in a few matches so 5 is a lot.
Right. 5 is like an IWA flip match deal.
Yes. That'll save me for a cycle, man.
There you go.
Oh man. Now, Anarchy title.
Yes. So Anarchy title. We kind of just came up with that going back and forth pre-show. And it's nothing original. It's kind of just like something that we all like that the RWL uses, where you start at one of the titles. And so let's say the bottom title, which is, bear with me, the Crypt Champion. So like it would be like, hey, next cycle, whoever, you just kind of do it like that. Like,
yeah, so just
go through, kind of cycle through the titles is the way what I'm looking for. Cycle through the titles to kind of determine, who gets a shot.
Okay, so this one's going to be defended every cycle.
Yes, we're gonna have 2 titles that are defended every cycle.
Nice.
It'll be the Anarchy title. Well, I honestly, I guess you can consider the Colossal title too, because that's technically anybody can fight for that anytime. But also our newest title, which is the Terror title. That one is defended exclusively to TerrorVision. So if we ever do a second show, it won't be defended on that show. The Terror title won't be defended on any pay-per-views. It's only defended on the TerrorVision show.
Nice. So for the Anarchy, just to backtrack a little bit, we're gonna mimic the RWL's profiled champion.
Right.
Where we pretty much using the regionals and only the regionals, not the
league or TV, the Nightmare or the Paranormal. So it'd be like the Crypt Champion whoever the Crypt champion is next cycle would get a shot at the Anarchy title, and then we just kind of move up to the next title the
Yeah,
following cycle. Yeah, it's
yeah.
an easy pattern to see.
Oh, and not only that, it gives those regionals a little more,
Right.
a little more girth, a little more girth.
Right.
Just mean,
And
it makes them mean a little more, you know. Hey,
right, right, and then you know which regional to go after. You know what I mean? Because we'll hype it up this cycle. You want to go after this regional, this so on and so forth.
nice. Now it's good to see Sinister Bagul, back on the commissioner page. So as
Yep.
our new underworld champion.
Yes, and the underworld title. So the way we're going to do that is basically it's going to be the highest strategy over. Um, it's going to be 3 cycles, but because I kind of have something set up already for the next pay per view, we're going to go 5 cycles on the initial, this initial time starting this cycle. It'll be 5 cycles. Whoever has the highest strategy then gets the next title shot, and then after that, it'll be every 3 cycles.
Nice.
So I only did that because I kind of have a plan in place for the next pay per view, and it just makes sense storyline wise to go with this plan. So that's kind of the way I kind of want to roll with that, and then afterwards we'll go that route.
Now, the Terror Vision title is
Yes.
kind of is it just below, or I don't necessarily.
Underworld is Underworld is still the top title.
Okay.
So my original plan was, at the time Bagul had not been active for a couple cycles, so he was the current Underworld champion. Or well, he hadn't been Underworld champion yet. He hadn't cashed in his head in the box yet. So my original plan was, okay, I'm gonna just do a little tournament deal and crown a new Underworld champion. But of course, in the midst of this, Bagul came back and he did that awesome cash in of the head in the box, right? So my thought is, at first, I'm like, well, I'll just have 2 Underworld champions at first, and then we build up to the pay per view. The 2 champions fight and unify the title. But then I started thinking, I mean, the Bagul storyline was very cool. I don't want to undercut what he's doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I just decided to come up with the Terror title, just a different title. It's something like I said. So the Terror title, the winner of the Battle Royal gets a shot. So Warblaze beats Skexel at the pay-per-view for the Terror title. So he's the first Terror champion. He will defend against Otis Gruiser, who won the Battle Royal last cycle. And then the winner of this cycle will face whoever wins the Battle Royal this cycle. And
Nice.
that'll be the way that kind of rolls out.
Very, very. Now, and I think that's important, Brandon, when you're running a league, to make sure there's, man, I'm gonna use it again, that there's transparency as to who is contesting for it and how to contest for it. I mean, because no diss to anyone out there, but there's a lot of places to play this game, and there's there's some places where you could be there for a couple of cycles and not even know how to obtain a shot at a certain title. So I mean,
Right.
that's just
So if one day you see the commissioner titles are Warblaze, Barnabas Slade, Otis Gruiser, and Provis, there's no shenanigans going on. It's just coincidence that I manage all 4 of them.
right. But and you'll be able to flip your bulletin back and say, oh,
Right.
he won the Crypt, so that gave him a shot at at the Anarchy, or he sent in Trash Talk, so that gave him a shot at the Colossus, or he won the Battle Royal and he won the shot at the Terror. You can see it clearly.
Right.
Yes, and I think that's important and healthy.
Yeah,
With
absolutely.
big forward.
We want everybody to know that they're getting a fair deal, and we want everybody competing the titles. We want to pass the titles around, or if somebody can hang on to them for a long time, it just further enhances the characters and the storylines.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's healthy to do it that way, brother. It really is. I mean, everybody spends their hard-earned money, so we want to make sure if you are spending money with us, you're getting a fair shake.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of people that aren't getting a fair shake, are these darn ah these Skeksis, man. They're running out of essence, and they had a rough cycle. They really did. I think I think the women are to blame. Because you can always blame a woman. That's the easy
Absolutely.
easy way out is just blame the woman. And Queen Malati just
Yes.
we were wondering about these new Sith Lords, and uh you know these ladies of the dark side are just as good as the gentlemen, if not better. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we are going to get into some pay-per-view action, which is going to reveal some nice action. So, did you want to do pay-per-view, or do you want to do new point system first, or
You know what? We can roll through some results here real quick.
okay?
A couple quick things. So, like I said, we had only one challenger for the Colossal title this cycle. So, Wolfman Joe retained. He only had one opponent, so he retained. So he'll get another 5 free matches. The
Nice.
Patients, Y and X, were the last two in the quickest commissioner tournament in the history of the world. And because it just went fast because we had multiple draws, and it is what it is. But that's cool because that means we can set up another one and keep rolling out these 25 free matches. That's say what you will about the, I guess he's deceased now, Commissioner Pratt. He did a good job getting some of these free match deals in place.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, Patient Y defeated Patient X, so Patient Y gets 25 free matches.
You know what? Patient Y has never liked X. I can honestly say that now, that
Yeah,
of the three patients, Patient X is probably the biggest jerk. Y
is he
and
like the
Y
biggest
and
ass kisser to
I you
the
know
good doctor?
he is lips to cheek, bro. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
he's definitely right there in the mix.
right.
uh, but good for you, Y. Good for you.
Yes, good for
Good
you,
for you.
Y. All right. Well, so before we do the pay per view, the TerraVision show, TerraVision 5, um, we had 5 matches on that show. Usually there are about 5 matches. The kind of gimmick I wanted to do, though, because I didn't want it to be like a throwaway show because we had a pay per view. So what I did was I set up 4 matches, and the winners of all 4 matches would come back to compete in a 4-way, and the winner of that would get a shot at the Underworld title, future shot. That'll figure in
Well,
later
that
when we
that
talk.
that sucks for whoever's in that fourth match, man. They're gonna be tired.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's all 4. They're all gonna be tired. So that'll we'll talk about that next pay per view a little bit later on. But so first match, the current Bronze Age conqueror Sadako Saeki defeated Patient X. Catfish Rob defeated Jason. Blade, the Vampire Hunter, defeated Dr. Hyde, Dr. Damian Hyde. And Skekung drew with Vistara, one of the Sith ladies. And so there you go. We only ended up with 3 people advancing because we did have a draw. And in the end, it was the legendary Catfish Rob secured a future Underworld title match.
nice.
Now, talking with Rob, I know he's never held the Underworld title before, so
Ooh,
this is a big deal for him, big shot for him. So we'll see, because he's kind of like an LNL original, right?
yeah, yeah.
You know, so
I think we were talking right before. I mean, this is something that you had in mind already prior
right.
to it. So just to, yeah, that's good. That's a nice little way to kind of Obviously Sinister, we don't blame Sinister because we enjoyed the fact that he cashed in the way he did.
Right. We
But I
don't
think,
blame him, but Balin blames him.
yeah, but I think the Balin plan still gets to be pushed forward and incorporated nicely. So
Right.
you know,
Well,
sh- sh-
and it all kind of factored into the pay per view too, so it worked out rather well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can guarantee you, Catfish Rob is happy. I can guarantee
Right. Absolutely.
it. Oh man.
So
Jeez.
yeah, going over the pay per view results. Um, Foxwoman Santana, aka the trashiest prostitute in the LNL,
What?
defeated Warblaze.
Oh, how dare you?
Yes.
If oh man, if you think losing pinkies is bad, you're gonna lose more than a pinky for that comment.
Yeah,
Oh
we'll see.
man.
Wolfman Joe defeated Morbius in the steel chain match.
Yeah. Careful with the words you use there. We allowed him to live. You know what? He, this guy defeated. If no one defeats.
No, no love for the nice vampires. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
The Swamp Monster defeated Barnabas Slade.
What? His own
Yes,
brother, blood brother,
his
and
own
all, huh?
brother. Yeah, the storyline going into that was
Oh,
Slade. Balin was going to force him to fight, and Slade kind of got a idea from Balin, that he could be able to switch between his human form and his, swamp monster form, um, if he won. But he didn't win, so the swamp monster was victorious.
hmm. I,
Um,
I'm just glad they fought. That
right,
more than
right,
yeah. That was my biggest thing.
yeah, no. The Sith ladies were back again. The Sith defeated the Die group. Ted
No, no,
Radford,
no, 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 no,
Sam,
no.
and
Not just defeated. That's where you got to learn. Look, they decimated the dice
oh,
in less than 10 minutes. I mean, when you lose in less than 10 minutes, you come in and you start asking for, guts, and you start asking for, the Sith ladies were like, "Who are you guys? Why are we even talking about, I mean, you can't even hold your own, pants up, and you're gonna come and ask for, these weird matches? No. Like,
Sam's not going to
welcome
be
to the
happy with what
LNL.
you're saying.
Well, Sam can go and kiss it. You look, you come in. This is the living nightmare league, and you're going up against, even though the Sith ladies, haven't necessarily proven anything in the LNL themselves, but they come with a from a long, history line of fighters. So we still don't know what their relationship is to the former Sith lords, but
Yes,
I'm moving forward. The ladies have made an impact here, and believe you me, it's one that was echoing throughout the entire. I mean, for crying out, Queen Melody, took highest honors this past cycle. She was
yep,
went and brought home IWA regional, putting the LNL on the map. So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, Sam, got a long way up that ladder to go here in the LNL.
Yep. Yeah. So speaking of Queen Melody, since we're talking about her and winning the IWA, that the wide regional, she also won the Anarchy Invitational Battle Royal. So this cycle, she will be getting a title shot for the Anarchy title against Michael Myers.
Nice.
And then
They,
after that, the following cycle, that's when we roll in to the fighting the 10 champions. One each cycle.
yeah, no, no, no. I think it worked out because I think Queen Melody, if I'm not mistaken, won the Atlantic regional, which is the one all the
Yes,
way at the top. Yeah, so that actually
right.
worked out well.
Yeah, and like I said, she's tough, but don't sleep on Michael. Michael and Jason, man, they're you can't sleep on them.
Oh
Then we
no.
had next in a number one contender match for the Terror Tag titles. We had Rawhead Rex and Jacob Goodnight defeating patients Y and Z. So a big win for them. They'll be the next victims for Jason and Michael, or
And Jacob and Rawhead Rex have been on fire. I mean,
they
I
have
know
been on fire. Tag and six, they have been on fire.
I know. They won the Catfish Rob Tag Team of the Year
Yeah.
award in their own little respectable. I mean, I know Catfish Rob doesn't like Jason and Michael. I know he doesn't, because he would have, he could have easily given it to them, but I think there's bad blood with that two little with those two. So I'm curious to see if Jacob Goodnight and Rocket can finally dethrone the greatest.
Yes. Win the big one. And remember, the Terror Tag titles, that's the titles you want to be holding on to, because they get the shots when the Bronze Age Tag Team Champions come to town, right?
Oh yeah.
And of course, the current Bronze Age, we call them the Knights of the Bronze Age Tag Team Champions, are from the LNL, Otis Bruiser and Claude Holiday. Just like the Bronze Conqueror champion, Sadako Saeki, is from the LNL. So all the Bronze Age gold is in the LNL, and Balin is a happy man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, those bragging rights, are they're definitely not something we're gonna take lightly, because again,
Absolutely not.
they come around every so often. So hey,
Right.
they're here now, and we definitely appreciate the attention and all the extra gold that we're getting from having those here.
Right. And Sadako is actually, now she heads to I believe it's this coming cycle, she heads to the RWL to defend the Bronze Conqueror title, which is kind of a cool story because of the fact that she was from the RWL originally. So
Yeah,
that should be interesting. Her returning home to defend the title.
that'll be a nice surprise for our buddy, our pal, Mr. Goldstein.
Mr. Goldstein.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of Sadako, she was on the pay-per-view as well, and she came up a little bit short going against the good doctor, Mr. Dr. Frankenstein. He
you know what,
her.
that SOB, and you know what, I should have warned Sadako, because that was the same thing that we were saving Wolfman Joe from. Remember, the Wolfman Joe Morbius angle goes way back to when Morbius was introduced. He rescued, even though Wolfman Joe, says that, he was attacked by Morbius. No, he was rescued. I mean, his interpretation of the story is blurred because of, Morbius biting him, and anytime a vampire bites you, you kind of, your vision is, and your recollection of the story is kind of twisted, because hell, somebody just took a bite out of you.
Right.
Like, of course you're going to be a little disturbed, but in the long run, Wolfman will realize that he was being saved from getting pricked by
It was
by
a friendly bite.
Yeah, it was either get a vampire, bite, or get some blood taken and misused by this evil doctor, because that's what happened.
Right.
He takes some of her blood, he uses
Right.
it, I'm sure he used it against her in some kind of serum or something that,
Yeah. I mean, we don't know if he injected it into himself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We don't know exactly what he did. And on top of that, we're kind of finding out that her bloodline seems to be a pretty powerful bloodline.
mm,
So, who knows?
maybe Frankenstein knew something even before. I
Right.
mean, that Frankenstein guy. But I will say this: in this current LNL era, I have seen a better distribution of gold, because it's not only our usual suspects getting them, and I'm happy for this Balin era, because I thought, the patients and Doc were just going to continue to run, without without any buffer zone. And believe it or not, yeah, just to see Jonathan up there, take home that title, that was awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yes, there's a changing of the guard here. So yeah, it's a
Well,
health.
and Frankenstein's got a lot on his mind because there's been some dissension lately with the other patients and stuff like that. So
No, yeah. I
he's
mean,
been a little distracted. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, the females that have gathered here in the Living Nightmare League. I mean, I would never consider. I don't think that's even a consideration yet because again, this is a monster based league, so I don't even consider the ladies of the dark side technically ladies because they're monstrous, man. They're evil. I
Yeah,
throw in Sadako in that same thing. Even though
absolutely.
she was a lady back in the RWL, I get it, but she has this new embodiment, this new yeah, I don't consider it a lady, so don't think we're getting a ladies division in the LNL, but these female-ish monsters are they're setting a tone here that I wasn't expecting, brother. I really, I
Right.
really I really do think that Dr. Frankenstein had to refocus his energy just to take on someone like Sadaku because this is someone that's just like you said, whose power was still unknown. I mean, we don't
Right.
even know where it comes from. So
And speaking of Sadako, if you want to check it out, I'm trying to remember if it was posted on the LNL page. If not, I'll find it and put a link on there. Might have been on the dungeon page, but there's a badass music video of Sadako. Very well done. So
nice.
that's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, she's definitely up in the what is it? Up in the Annies here.
Yep. So, but yeah, so moving on the pay per view though. So the Terror Tag titles, we were talking about them earlier, Jason and Michael, they did defeat Skeksis.
Mm. Yeah, you know what? I said it earlier. I think their essence is a little low.
Oh,
I think the females kind of took the essence out of their out of their balloon because
you've been
it's
hinting at them moving slow lately, you know.
well, you know what? It is what it is. You come in, you make an impact. The lights are shining bright. Can you pull it together? More than anything, can you pull it together? Like Bigfoot and Squeaky are on that same page. They got this evil bat from Babs that got transported into the LNL. All of a sudden, these evil felines or feline-ish creatures, Ignatius and I could never Perspentine. I'm going to slaughter that name from here into the end of the year, brother. But Ignatius and Perspentine, whatever
we'll
your
we'll call
whatever
them the pets.
the pets,
Yes.
they go and unless Squeaky magically happens to grow into his 7 foot tall self, he's useless. He really is. Other than burying himself in a hole, he's useless. So he gets the damn and then Bigfoot, of course, gets frightened with any little thing, and so the two damn cats take the bat. They took the bat. So now the damn cats got the bat. I'm sure Sadaku tried to use it against Frankenstein. The bat, as you know, is a cursed bat. It'll only work
Right.
for whoever it wants to work for. So maybe it had, it didn't want to work for Sadaku. It's one of those damn, cursed bats, and it knows who it wants to yield power to. So,
That bat has definitely made its way around the IWA. No doubt about that. Been in many, many leagues.
oh yeah. So the evolution of Frankie continues, and I feel bad for Sadaku who tried to use the power of the cursed bat, but didn't work out there. So
No.
no.
Well, so then the next match, Jonathan Five, who is our current Nightmare champion, he defeated RoboCat in their Robot Wars match.
Yeah, Hey, and I'll say it like it is. I had no idea that Jonathan was gonna, pull these quote unquote shenanigans. I mean, he gave him a brand new suit, pumped him up,
Mhm.
yeah, this, there's just there's a lot to overcome there, brother, and
Yes.
he's still not ready. I mean, Jonathan's ready. Looks like got him in top form. Jonathan,
He got
not
motivated. Yeah.
yeah, and that's a good thing. He needed something to motivate him, and I'm glad RoboCat
Right.
motivated him for time being. But now RoboCat's he's left by himself now. All
Yeah, but
it's
he needs I think RoboCat needs to grow a pair though, and kind of he can't let this slide. He's got to go back after Jonathan.
yeah. I mean, at this point, he's we'll see how many of those screws he has to tighten up to figure out what's next. Because yeah,
Right.
oh man, gonna be an interesting climb back up.
Absolutely. And then we talked about this one a little while ago. So the two finalists in the little tournament we had to crown our first Terror champion for the Terror Vision show. Warblaze defeated Skexel to win the title, and like we said, Otis Gruser won the Battle Royal, so Otis Gruser gets the first shot this coming cycle.
Nice.
And then the main event of the show. This one was a non-title match. This was basically just the kind of deal where Balin, while he did say he respected the fact that Bagul used a pretty slimy, underhanded tactic to get that title, at the same time, he kind of made Balin look like a fool, which, he can't let that slide. So Balin decided to use Aiden, the Heartless Brimstone, to go after Bagul. Non-title match at the pay-per-view. They kind of, the two of them have kind of been scrapping the last few cycles. Um, Outside of the ring, just building up towards the pay-per-view. And Aiden Brimstone defeated the Sinister Bagul. Champ took a dive.
Nice.
Yes.
Ooh. I mean we've been pumping up Aiden for a while right now, and
Right.
and again, I mean, how serious do you take the match? If you are Sinister, you got thrown into a pay-per-view.
Right.
And it's I guess it's interesting in the when you talk about like where you're at. I mean, if this was if this was the NWL,
Mm-hmm.
just a regular wrestling, you can take a bump, you can take a fall, but you're in the freaking monster league. You're going up against a monster who, could, with any given night, whoever you step into the ring with could probably, bite your head off if you're not careful that
Right.
night. So that's what you're dealing with. So I felt bad for Sinister, because of that. It's like, you know what, if you were anywhere else, this wouldn't matter.
Right.
But you're in the living nightmare league where at any given
Absolutely.
moment, limbs will fly and yeah.
That is
Uh,
correct.
oh man.
Now,
Yeah.
so the repercussions of this, right? Like I said, I kind of had a plan going forward, and this is why we're going to do the highest strategy over 5 cycles. We'll get the next or the future title shot for the Underworld title, because right now my game plan is, since Aiden defeated Bagul at the Die Motherfucker Die pay-per-view, when our next pay-per-view happens on cycle 70, it's going to be called Body Count. And
Nice.
yes, and it's going to feature Head in the Boxes coming back. So we will have a big thing starting this cycle. Pretty much, I've got everybody is involved. You know what I mean? So all everybody's wrestlers, they're all involved, and we're gonna do Head in the Box qualifying matches for the next 4 cycles leading up to the pay-per-view. And whoever comes out at the end of these qualifying matches, they're all going to be in the head in the box match at the pay-per-view. Besides that, though, we need to figure out, the Underworld title. So Aiden defeated Bagul at this pay-per-view, and Catfish Rob also secured shot by winning the three-way match at TerraVision 5. So my game plan right now is at the Body Count pay-per-view, we're going to have the Sinister Bagul will defend the Underworld title against Aiden Brimstone and Catfish Rob in a three-way.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, that will definitely be one to main event the show. Yeah, that's a good one.
We'll have that. We'll have the crowning of the head in the box. And then, like I said, a lot of pressure on whoever wins head in the box, because as good of a way. I mean, you can't basically do the same thing. You got to kind of change it up how you're going to cash in that title. So
I mean, what are the chances that it vacates in that way? I mean, I think that's what made the way Sinister cashed in.
Well,
special.
That's the thing. But if for some reason, something happens, maybe one of our monsters is killed in action and the title vacates again, you can't do it the same way. You could do it the same way, but it's going to look like you ripped off, Bagul, right? So you got to find a new creative way.
You know what? These monsters are such. Yeah, man, I don't doubt it if they even copycat.
Yeah, it's possible.
But
you get a lot of cutthroats.
Yeah, these people just look. But who knows? We'll see. We will see. Yeah. Time will tell. But
and I'm sure a lot of our other a lot of the other feuds from this past pay-per-view are going to keep going. You know what I mean? We're going to roll a lot of these. I can tell you that Warblaze is not done with Foxwoman. Take that as you will. But like I said, RoboCat and Johnny Five, I'd like to think that there's
oh no, that we still got some
far from over.
Yeah, we've definitely got some questions. Some questions.
Absolutely.
Now,
yeah, it's exciting. You mentioned the point system. Oh, sorry.
Wait a minute. We'll finish with the point system. But before we do that, when did Aiden cut off Kyoki's pinkies? Was that last cycle or this cycle?
I believe it was.
And I lost track of that one because I thought it was at the pay-per-view, but they didn't have a match at the pay-per-view.
No.
So that was through the trash talk.
It was through the trash talk.
Aha.
Yeah, it was through the trash talk.
Yeah, Aiden's been busy. He's definitely on the rise in terms of if we had like a popular or unpopular. He's definitely that's how you climb the ladder there. That's how you
yes. Well, and that's the thing too. He is showing that so Pravis, Pravis kind of he's got very magical abilities. Pravis had a few cycles back, he had this vision of Aiden killing Balin, and this past cycle he also had a vision of his own death kind of deal. But in that vision, it was still the same one where, Aiden was taking out Balin. Now, is that going to happen? These are all things that are in the future. Now, they could be in multiple futures, so we don't know that it's necessarily going to happen, but you never know, right? So Aiden is definitely, he may be more powerful than he realizes.
Well, I mean, and then you got spirits and souls like Sadaiku, who you have no idea where Pravis is getting these visions. I mean, they could just be manipulated through one of the Crimson Curses, and so you never know. And again, that's the beauty of it. But what has come, and the facts that have been laid out already that we do know. We know that the females are 1,000 times better than Sam and the gang. I mean, that was proven. We have proven that whether he's with RoboCat or Bigfoot, Squeaky is you know unpredictable. So watch out for Squeaky. I'm curious as to where that leads. We have proven that Dr. Frankenstein is just a prick, and he will prick you and probe you any chance he gets. So
Right.
so watch out for Frankenstein. Even Catfish gave us that warning. Catfish is like, watch out for Frankie. Watch out for that needle up his sleeve. And I'm surprised. We have these two big names on opposite ends of the spectrum here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up crossing path towards the end because they're both on different sides of the spectrum. Catfish is just and trying to just fight for what's right, and even though he has his Wolfman Rob alter ego, I still think the brighter side of Catfish will overcome at the end. So even though Foxwoman probably won't. Oh man! But now, before we sign this one off, let's briefly go over the new point scale.
Okay.
Let's see here. I know I saw it. It's up here.
Yeah, it's like one of the first things in there. So basically, I kind of broke it down. Obviously, it's pretty similar to the previous one that was used in the L. I kind of actually went more so when basically the RWL one. Sean and I came up with that one, and it kind of just I liked the way that one was. Um, nothing against Commissioner Pratt's one. He just used too big of numbers. I can't count that high, so I figured I'd dumb it down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So no, I'm just kidding. But no, I like the RWL one just because I was kind of keeping track of all the points for the RWL Wrestler of the Year deal. So basically, I was able just to kind of drop my titles in there for the LNL, and then I just kind of threw in all the LNLs in the same spreadsheet. So it worked very nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and I still see that you do get little bonus points for
right.
bringing home an IWA regional, which is always
Yep.
as tough as nails
Yep.
to get. So
Yeah, and I put the Bronze Age titles in there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So Bronze Age titles are in there as
Now
well.
now just to clear it up here while we're on the air,
Yes.
they get it for winning it, not for retaining or not excuse me,
Yeah.
not every cycle. They're not getting these 25 points every cycle. They're only
No.
getting it
No. No. No.
when they
No.
win it. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I didn't even really put in there like retaining titles. Um, I think like what I'll do is at the end of the year, whoever wins the Wrestler of the Year, I'll probably throw some free matches their way or something like that. I'll come up with something. If we were doing kind of like in the RWO where we were doing the winner got a belt at the end, then I would probably maybe do a few more categories like title retains and stuff like that. But just for the regular deal, I don't think I'm going to include that in there. It's I don't nah.
Yeah, no, I think there's enough points being distributed. I think that's
Right, right.
yeah.
That's kind of the way I look at it. So now, with that being said, as I mentioned, something cool in the future that'll be coming up. Not sure exactly when. I'm thinking maybe summer-ish, but much like we talked about in the RWL, we gave out a belt at the end of the year. Not doing it like that, but there's going to be. I'm working on some kind of contest kind of deal. It's not going to be for a belt because I think we have a much cooler idea that fits the LNL, and you know what it is, right?
Yes, no, that's
I
why.
think it's like me, you, and Sean are the only ones that didn't know what this is, and it fits the LNL perfect, man. It'll be a cool award. I will say it's an award. It's not a belt, but it's something that'll be kind of cool that you can
Yes,
throw. You could definitely.
I definitely think it fits the theme, and like you said, it fits the essence of the LNL. Definitely, for sure.
It's something you could display beautifully that people will come in your house and be like, "Why the fuck do you have that in your house?"
Yes, it's definitely a good tabletop talking piece you could have.
Yes, but all of us in the LNL will do it. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
so that's something that's coming. Like I said, that'll be a big event we have. We have obviously we'll have our 4 to 5 pay-per-views throughout the year. Every 5 cycles, we'll do a pay-per-view. We have a special event coming up. It'll be a pay-per-view. It may involve another league. That's down the road, and then we have all the Bronze Age stuff too that's coming, man. You know what I mean? We got a huge, and I guess I can kind of talk about it a little bit because Seth threw out Commissioner Anderson threw out a little a teaser in the current Bronze Age issue, and we do have a big Bronze Age event coming up that will feature obviously the LNL, the UNL, and the RWL, and it's exciting. It's something that probably has been done before, but I don't know if it's been done to this scale before.
Nice.
And it's gonna be awesome. You know, I know the 4 of us have talked about it, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be definitely a cool event, and we could talk about having like a podcast to kind of hype the event where we all get back on here, and yeah, it's exciting things are coming.
Time allowing these things. Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Well, you know what? For that one, we're all gonna have to take one for the team, and
just man up.
Yeah, yeah.
Who needs
Somebody's gonna have
sleep,
to.
Commissioner Anderson? Nobody needs sleep.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to
You gotta
sleep,
take
or
care of
somebody's
your
gonna have to.
school. God dang it.
Right. Somebody's gonna have to call in sick. Somebody's gonna, we have to figure it out. But yes, that podcast.
You gotta use your PTO time. You gotta use it.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. I love it.
If I have to start calling in bomb threats at
Oh no.
everybody's employment,
Oh, that's it.
No, but yeah, seriously though, it's a lot of cool stuff is in the works.
Yeah, no, I like I said, the year has definitely kicked off in what's the saying, when the horse races, they're out of the gates quick, man. We're definitely out of the gates very quickly, man. But now, Commissioner, is there anything else you want to add on this one before we sign off? I think we got through most of it. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, you know what? I think all we missed obviously was the trash talk. So maybe since we're kind of getting this one done with a week to go, maybe we can work something out. I know our schedules kind of line up a little better than everybody else's schedules because of us both working midnights. So maybe we could sneak in a trash talk one before. We got a quick trash talk one before.
We can definitely do that for especially for the LNL that does have a lot of good story arcs going. I think it would be well worth it.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, guys, you've been listening to the Commissioner Report here in the Living Nightmare League. Again, if you need somewhere to come and bring a monster and work an angle, this is definitely the place. You've been obviously. I think we've said it over time and time again. There's enough going on here that'll keep you busy, and if you feel like you're not being incorporated or included, Timmy, get your damn trash talk in. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. You've been listening to IWA Flip and Commissioner Brandon Madden here on Living Nightmare After Hours. Till next time. Lights.
See ya.